Hello and welcome to another episode of Kuma's Kitchen. And as the temperatures start going down, well, we want our dishes getting hotter and heartier, right? Well, one of the things I love is a chicken pot pie. However, I end up not making it quite as often because, well, there's that word in Japanese, mendokusai, which means it's a lot of bother because you got to make the crust. Well, if you remember probably about a month ago, we made a apple cobbler here in the kitchen. And I started thinking, well, wait a second. How about chicken mushroom pot cobbler instead of pie? So that's what I made. I made it with a cobbler, kind of a biscuit crust on top, basically much the same as we used in that apple cobbler. And down below, we've got chicken and mushrooms and leeks and creaminess. And, well, it's just fantastic looking. I would like to turn it to the camera, but that is so hot that it's not going to happen. Let's see if I get a little spoonful up. Look at that. It's just absolutely fantastic, beautiful. Now, I'm really tempted to eat some of that because it is so good looking, but I burned my tongue before and I don't like it. So really what I recommend is after this comes out of the oven, let it sit for at least 10-15 minutes. It kind of starts to set up a bit and it gets down to the point where you're not going to burn your mouth. How about it? Should we give it a try? Let's see. Oh. Mmm. Wow, that is good. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need chicken pot pie when you got this. This is absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's go in the kitchen and make some right now. For our chicken mushroom pot cobbler, well, first of all, we want to make the filling. Then afterwards, we'll bring in the ingredients for the cobbler part, the topping. So what do we got for the filling itself? Well, across the front, we've got 1 teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of butter. And then here, mushrooms. This is about 15, 16, 17 mushrooms, and I'll thick cut them. So mainly cut them in half, and really big ones, I cut them into 3 pieces. And if you get a really tiny one, like I had one here somewhere, oh, he's gone now. Oh, there he is. Then you don't even need to cut it. All right, then over here, leeks. That's 2 leeks, and they cut into about 1 inch or 25 millimeter, 2.5 centimeter pieces. Over here, the chicken itself. Now that is 1.5 pounds or 680 grams of chicken, and that's cut into a smaller than bite size, that's for sure. About 3/4 of an inch or 20 millimeters, right about there. Then across the back, we've got our liquids. Well, we've got here is 1.5 cups of chicken stock, and here 1 cup of heavy cream. That's that 35% or heavier cream. So first thing I want to do is, first of all, I want to flour up the chicken a bit. So we're going to put the flour into a bowl and the 2 seasoning, the pepper and the salt. Then just kind of give that a little bit of a stir around, mix it together. All right, now I'm going to throw the chicken in there, but hey, let's get that butter melting. So the first thing I'm going to do before that is bring that, notice we've got the big cast iron pot again. We're going to use the cast iron pot because it's going to go in the oven. So bring that up on medium heat. And then I'm just going to toss that butter in there. Get that butter start melting and move it around every once in a while. But while that's happening, I'm going to take the chicken, toss it in here with the flour, get that off to one side, and then just toss it around until all the chicken is coated with some of this flour, salt, and pepper mixture. All right, so butter's melted. This is all nicely tossed. So let's get that in here. Gonna cook that chicken for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just stirring, let's get this out of the way before I knock those over. Stirring it around every once in a while until we've browned the chicken a little bit. That flour has absorbed all the butter, which is happening pretty quick anyways. All right, we'll see you back here in about 10 to 12. All right, so that's been cooking for about 10 minutes. Now what you're gonna find is that, of course, some of that flour is gonna burn to the bottom, but don't worry about that because we're gonna deglaze it. So first thing we're gonna do is get a little stir around here, and then I'm gonna take some of that chicken stock. Not all of it, probably about half. Put that in there, and then just start scraping up off the bottom all that goodness. It's going to start thickening up right away. So once we got some scraped up, there it's starting to come. Now we got some more of that chicken stock in there. And then keep going. Just keep scraping until the bottom comes clean. It takes a little bit elbow grease, but it's all going to come off there, and that's all going to go in to make that good creaminess in the chicken mushroom pot. Now I was about to call it pie, but chicken mushroom pot cobbler. All right, so we've been going for about a minute or so there, and it's bubbling away. So we still got a little bit of the chicken stock left. Get that in there. Get that a bit more of a stir. And then I'm going to get the cream in there. And now, just going to cook that. I'm going to knock the heat down just a little bit, so more like a medium-low. We'll just simmer away for a while. Because while that's simmering away, we're going to come back and we're going to make the biscuit topping, the cobbler. All right. So we want to simmer that, and we want that to thicken up a bit. So let's leave that. Be right back. All right, so that's starting to bubble away over there. We're gonna just give it a stir every once in a while. Got my trusty food processor up here, and I got all the ingredients for the cobbler. So what do we got here? Well, we got 2 cups of flour. We have one teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And you might wonder, why would we use brown sugar in something that's not sweet? It's because it just softens up a little bit to the gluten and gives us just this perfect biscuit. So we always want a little bit of sugar in there. Butter, 3/4 cup of butter, and I've chopped up into small pieces and then put it back in the fridge to chill it down so it's good and cold and hard. And then here, 1/2 cup of that heavy cream, the 35% or greater. So first thing I want to do, let's get the flour into the food processor, and the salt, the sugar, in other words, all the dry ingredients, the baking powder. All right, then just gonna give that a little bit of a zap. And before we do that, let's give this guy a bit of a stir. Oh yeah, it's starting to bubble nicely. So now we just gotta let it keep bubbling away. That starts thickening up a bit. All right. So we're gonna hit that. Just give it a couple zaps to get the other ingredients throughout the flour. All right, that should do. Then we get the butter in there. Now we want to pulse it until that butter mixes with the flour, and we get basically like big grains of sand, you know, like you find on a beach or something. About that size. All right, let's have a look. All right, so you got a couple of bigger pieces in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a bit more of a zap, but that's not bad. We don't mind having a couple of bigger pieces in there. All right, that should do it. Get off to one side. Oh, this is bubbling away nicely. All right, give that another stir. Mmm, smelling good in here. All right, let that keep bubbling away. What we do now is get a bowl out, throw all our flour mixture into the bowl, and you can go off to one side. All right, what I do now is I want to slowly mix that cream into there and bring this together into biscuits. So just pour some of that in there and then start mixing. Just kind of cutting, bring it together. If you remember when we did this with the apple cobbler, not overworking it, we just want to work it gently, just a little cutting, get through there, and just start bringing it. Just want to get to the point where you can bring it together and make a cover for that. So, a bit more cream. You got some chunks in there which are going together, and you got a lot of loose flour, so you really want just you're cutting and cutting and cutting with the side. Notice I'm using the side of the spoon. So just cutting through and bringing it all together. All right, that's about ready to start coming together, but first, let's get over here and give this guy a stir. Oh yeah. Now I'm starting to get just a little bit. It's not super thick or anything yet, but you gotta remember it's going to go in the oven. I'm starting to thicken up a little bit though, that's good. All right. Let's let that cook down a bit more. And what I do now is bring this together. If you remember before, it's not going to come together beautifully, but it's just barely going to come together, and that's just what you want. You just kind of start pulling it all into a ball, and then I just bring it out onto the counter. Bit of a mess, that's okay. That off to one side. All right, now start bringing it together. And then we want to flatten it down. Now you can cut it into biscuit shapes with a biscuit cutter or a glass. I just make one big cover, as you may remember from the apple cobbler, and that works just as well. So kind of starting to about the shape of the top. Oops. That'll be about that size, right? Looks about good. Just gotta eyeball it, see if it's gonna fit. That looks good. All right, give it a couple more minutes yet. I just want to cook that a little bit more. It just cooks down a bit more. Be back shortly. All right, that's been bubbling away here now for about another 10 minutes. So we got about 15 or so minutes of bubbling away. What we can see is if we look at the side of the pot, it's cooked down about 3/4 of an inch or about 2 centimeters. So it's starting to thicken up a little bit. Still got a little ways to go, but remember it's going to be in the oven for quite a while now. So I think we're good to go there. Should we test it? I think so. Oh yeah, it does taste as good as it looks. When I'm putting the this on top, there's no way you can get that whole piece under without breaking mess all over the place. But one thing is, it's really helpful if you've got one of these pastry scraper. I picked this up a long time ago. It's fantastic. It's great for cleaning off the counter too. After you can scrape everything. But either that or I think before last time I may have used my fish spatula, the longer spatula. Either one's good. So what I'm going to do now is just cut this into quarters like that, and like that, and like that, because that's going to make it a lot easier for me to pick up. Then look at that. Pick it up with a pastry scraper, and that one goes in there. And then this one here, oh, goes right there. Oh yes. And then one over here. And then the final one squoozed into the corner over here. That's looking good. Okay, all right, so this goes off. It's going to go in the oven over there at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And that's going to go for about 40 to 45 minutes. And then it's time. Oh, don't ever eat raw dough. It's not good for you, okay? It's time to bring it out and have it for dinner. But it's going to be piping hot, so we're going to let it sit for a while once it comes out. Yeah, my mother used to always tell me, don't eat raw dough. You're going to get worms. I don't know. I think that was probably something everybody's mother always told them back then was you're going to get worms if you eat raw dough. Well, I've been eating raw dough all my life, and I've never had worms. Another old wives' tale laid to rest. All right, see you when this comes out of the oven. All right, whew, that is hot. Right through the hot pad. There we go. That's been just a little over 40 minutes in the oven, and look at it. In some places where the juice bubbled up over top and you get this extra browning and all. Mwah. Absolutely delicious. Now, you do not want to be digging into this right now. It is super hot. The best thing to do is let this sit for about 10-15 minutes before you serve it, because it's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to get down to the point where it won't burn the roof of your mouth. The other, it's just going to set up a little bit, and it's going to be absolutely perfect. So I'm not even going to dig in there. You can see, look around the edges here, it's still bubbling away. So you've got this delicious creamy chicken and mushroom down below here. And then on top, oh, a nice biscuit crust. That's going to be a fantastic dinner. All right, so if you enjoyed this recipe, stick around, check out the other ones. There's a whole bunch more of original Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen recipes here on the YouTube channel. Go have a look around, find something you like, and make it. Delicious stuff. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and that you've clicked that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out. Somebody just told me the other day again, they said, I've been missing out on your recipes. Got to click that notification bell to make sure you don't, all right? Because there's delicious recipes coming out all the time. All right, now go make this and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.